Hi, how are you
Hi.
today? It's we've got Sabrina and Luna Nueva's in the house. Literally, we're in our houses. Hey,
Real.
been a
Yeah.
while since we've talked to the outside world, so I just wanted to check in with my sisters.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are out in the outside world right now, right?
Oh, right. So yeah, this is a Zooming thing that we were doing a lot of Zooming during COVID. You know
Right.
that when we were still at home, but let's check in. How have you been? What have you been up to in the last year?
Wow. What year is it now? 2024. Um, so yeah, now we're at toward the end of May and it's 2024. And I have to say this past year, it's really um just ironic that you should ask at this particular time in my life, just because in June, I started a healing journey because I've been going through perimenopause for, I feel like now 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, you lose. I lost those 4 years of the pandemic, so I'm like, I know I was at least going through it a year or two before that. So it's been a long time, and just to make me feel so much better, doctors, friends, family, they all tell you, oh, that could go on for like 10 years. Right? So I'm like, well, gosh, so I have something to look forward to. It's just like putting on the backpack and getting ready for the long haul, right? On a long hike. So yeah, just last year was so how do you say comforting, um and then so when you're going through a rough battle and you're on the battlefield and you feel like there's just you feel like outnumbered, right? Like you've got all these soldiers, you're this lone soldier just fighting, alone. And all of a sudden I just got this grace, or this um came, and it was through another healer, and they showed me the way. They gave me the herbs I needed, and my whole life changed. I was going through um, serious anemia, which caused energy and fatigue, and you just feel like you're just suffering alone. And because the doctors tell you you can take out your uterus, or you can fuse it or burn it, or you can like all these horrible things that you just like, to my body, that's me. But they make it like an isolated organ, as if it's not a part of you, like it's just this bad thing you just need to take out. And I'm like, no, that's my body and it's attached to me. Sorry, that's me. I take it personal. And yeah, that's not okay. So hysterectomies and burning and all that stuff wasn't an option. It just took an in tune healer to touch me, and go, wait a minute, those are fibroids. You need to take care of that. And I was like, whoa. So part of that was just me not going, oh, I'm just suffering. Oh, the heavy bleeding, that's a natural thing. No, it wasn't. It's not. Fibroids are not. And I had them before, really, change my diet, change what I did to, manage them. But somehow through life stress and forgetfulness, things just kind of creep back and got bigger. And so through this great healer, I was able to manage them. I feel, oh my gosh, 10 times better. But then it was just like, after you start healing, that's one thing, then something else comes up, and then something else comes up. And so it's just like,
Right.
ah, right? And so the end of 2023, toward like this, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. I'm getting my energy back. I'm just getting back into my body, doing things I want to do again. And then it was just like, my father passed away suddenly. And then it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, reality check
Mm.
and mortality check, right? We weren't that close, but that's still your dad, right? And it's just like, that's when everything comes up, because then you're thinking all those things I never said, all those things, and then being able to let go, that process. And within 2 days later, I get an email from, I'm a part of the dog fostering, group. And they're like, we got all these puppies in. Oh my God, it's during the holidays. It was like the middle of December. We need somebody to take them through the holidays. And we're like, 10 puppies? Okay, I'm not going to take on 10, but they said at least two, please. So I went ahead and jumped on it, and my dad gave me a sign and said, honey, do it, do what you want to do. His passing kind of gave me that push to start speaking for self and
Mhm.
finding my voice and not caring what anybody said, not even checking in with my kids, which I always do. Is it okay, guys? Are you guys all right? And I was just like, no, I'm doing it for me and making the decision for myself and not checking in or getting approval or anything. And so we we had to take back one, unfortunately, which I biggest regret I feel, but we went ahead and found another one at another shelter. And so we have two. And some people called me very courageous and some people call me very crazy. But maybe it's crazy
Maybe
courageous. I don't know.
it's
I just
both.
they started off as my pleasant distraction because when they're little, they're a pleasant distraction. It's 6 to 8 weeks, right? But
Yeah,
now they're like, big puppy.
they're pups.
It's been 6 months and they're a lot. So yeah, so I've, fractured ankles in the past year. I fell from like stumbling over them at 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm not quite balanced. And so it's been a journey, like accepting them into my home and having animal, puppies are the first time. I've had cats. I've had Bunny, when the kids were little, so it's like having this new thing. And I know it's taking care of yet another little thing, right? Now that my kids are 21 and 26 and in school and in and out and going out doing their thing and being adults. I know it's like my empty nest or little, I have my dogs, kind of thing. So something to take care of. It's great. I make food for them. We have fun. Um, even though I'm like slightly allergic, but I'm thinking I'm gonna push through that. I'm gonna
Okay.
push through the allergies and I'm just gonna get stronger because enough histamine mixed in your body and it's gonna work it out, right? Our body's so strong and smart and heals itself in so many ways. So where I am just to answer that really just general question. I kind of went really circular, but I hope that answered just where I am today is on an upward, um, you know, for the first time in a long time, being able to gain energy and keep it, maintain it, and get stronger. I'm on entering my third month of doing a exercise routine, thing that in the past when I'd start something, I could only do it for a week or two, and then my energy would plummet and I would just fall back and then it affects the psyche. It
Yeah,
affects
it does.
everything, so after the healer, I went and just decided I need a chiropractor now. And I
Oh,
love that guy is great. So I go to my chiropractor, my acupuncturist, I go to my therapist for mental health and mental stimulation, just making sure I'm balanced emotionally and mentally. So it's just really healing the whole body is what I've been really focused on and staying and then turning, I don't, what is that called? Bicentennial? Is that called my bicentennial birthday? I don't know what that's called, but whatever.
it's
Turning
an
50.
amazing number. It's an amazing number.
Exactly. And it's kind of like, wow, this is your last year 40. That's it. This is it. This is 50 and beyond. So my daughter and I got our mani pedi for my birthday. I got my nails gold for my golden anniversary. So
Oh, sweet.
that that is thank you. So that is where I am today. I hope that answered your question, Holly.
Yeah, no, that's like beautiful. You answered everything. And I love that it's like your golden anniversary time. Really
Yes.
good, like a really good example of taking care of ourselves. Because my spring, actually, when so yeah, as we talk a lot on the phone.
Yes.
Thank you for resharing, like, oh my gosh, the ups and downs of our life, basically. But like, I know, like in the fall. So as you remember, I had shingles last year, and I was caretaking my mom, and so that kind of like filled my life. And then I got sick, and then it was like, oh my god. And so I took the whole fall off up until part of winter is when I
Mhm.
started getting back to work, and it was like a real slow getting back to work, like a real slow, like,
Nice.
am I well enough to do this? Because the fatigue was awful. Like,
Yes. But
fatigue.
you look at you now and you'd never be able to tell all of this. You're telling me this and you're reminding me, Holly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. But you look so healed. You look so great.
Well, no, well, the reason why, because we're
Huh.
talking, so is, and then when I started getting back to work, it kind of became, I noticed my spring, so winter ended and then spring came in, and then there were all these requests. So honestly,
Mm.
it's like not only work requests, but also community responsibilities that I had. So it's just like trying to keep up with all this stuff. And then, so then some of the community responsibility got taken care of. And I was like, the Maori healers are here. So I finally no, not last week, this week, I finally went and got my healing. And it was really nice. There was a new woman that she went to Tarongapai and recently got trained. So she worked on me, and then Atta worked on me. And so that was really, I really needed that. They did a lot of the gut work that I needed. So all the junk that we could hold on to, like how our body holds on to junk. And so they worked on that in my back. And Otto was like, your shoulders and your back are really, what have you been doing? I'm like, then I was kind of sharing.
Um,
But
good.
yeah,
And you took
so we
care of
had to,
you.
yeah. And I think that's what the theme of this is without me knowing,
Yes.
what is the theme of now with
Yes.
us in Luna Nueva wellness is like, taking care of us. Like, how do we, because a lot of it, we're holding so much space and we do so much work out in the world to heal others. And so we have to heal ourselves as well.
Oh my gosh, but it's such a common term that's being used so
I know.
frequently. I hear with the new generation, they're like self-care, self-care. I mean, I just take whatever the new generation's talking about is a reflection of what their parents, what their grandparents, us, what we've taught them, right? And so I just think it's beautiful to hear them be so aware, so honest, so raw, and so real about
Yeah.
how they're feeling and being open about it. Like our generations and before wouldn't mention perimenopause or that you just turned 50. It's such a negative connotation about over the hill. Like you just said, we just changed that term to second spring for a woman. It's not about the men on pause, whatever they interpretation of that
Oh,
word
right.
is. I don't know what that means, like, I don't know. I like some other Latin languages. They tend to change things and African languages, they just change it's softer. It's not so hard and negative and in your face. It's representative of nature a lot of times or something just more natural. That is inevitable and it's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
it's not like it's bad, it's just different? I think we need a book, and I'm a big reader here. I love reading books. When I was a kid, my mom gave me this book. It was blue. I'll never forget it. It's a big blue like book about this size, right? Teen, tween type book, right? Not quite elementary, more tweenish. And it was just called Period.
Really?
All caps, white
Oh,
letters with a little red dot at the end. And it was a big
oh,
blue book called Period. And so she was like, oh, my daughter's a big reader. Maybe instead of just giving her this whole talk, let me just give her this. And I remember it. Yeah. It was in a comic strip type of format. It was the coolest thing. And I got it. It was like, okay, I know what to prepare for. But we need one for what I call premenopause. I don't know why they call it perimenopause. Why it's peri instead of whatever. Pre. It was pre at one time, now it's peri. Whatever. Um, but a similar here's what to look for. And I know
Yeah.
everybody's so hip with the dummies thing. I'm sorry, I don't like dummies books because I don't consider myself a dummy. And I don't think other people should. And I don't like that negative connotation on, hey, make it simpler, put it in layman's terms. That's all you're asking. It doesn't
Uh-huh.
have to be dummy. Anyway, sorry. That's just my little
No, no, I mean,
um,
language is important,
exactly. And
you
let's
know?
be more positive about it. So, so
Yeah.
yeah, like having a quick executive summary or quick highlighted notes on what to expect. If you make it more of a mystery, people feel more alone through the process, unfortunately. And so it's like, that's where I was. Oh my God, what did the doctor say? What if I don't like anything the doctor said? You know what I mean? Like, now I feel alone. It's this process.
Right,
And
right.
so then people are looking at me like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you just take out your uterus? Why are you making yourself suffer?
Yeah.
Like, then I felt even more alone. Like,
Yeah.
thanks. Okay. Like, I'll forget myself. So just having a book, right? Like a happy, beautiful book about here's what to expect,
Mhm.
and you're not alone, and it's a beautiful thing, but you really need to check out your health and check in with yourself,
Mhm.
because as we begin, or as our bodies tend to age and we become more sedentary in these high paying, middle paying, low paying, whatever jobs.
Jobs that are attached to a computer are like
Exactly, you
long
have to
and we're not
sit
getting any movement,
still.
right?
Exactly. All of the work is in the mind,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's typing the next email, it's whatever, figuring out some new software function to
Right.
to process work. And so it's all very mental, which doesn't require a lot of butt moving, if you know what I mean.
True. And as dancers, we did a lot of butt moving, remember?
Yes, we
And
did.
so show me your fingernails again because it is carnival season.
Yes, this is so carnival. Reminds me of carnival every time I look at my fingers. I'm so happy to be going this Sunday to support my daughter in San Francisco's carnival this year for 2024. Because I'm not in it, but I'm rooting and cheerleading on the side for her. And so I get to like celebrate with my nails
Those are our BOGO
and my
baby.
toes, but I'm not going to show them right now, but they're bright blue. They're bright blue with sparkles. And so, yeah.
Oh,
Just gonna be there just to
that's so
support
awesome.
her.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome. So say hello to all of our friends.
I will, because
Because
we're there
Regina got the
representing
judge this
Pocono
year.
Hopa.
I know. Go Fogo, go Fogo, go. Hey.
Go, Fogo, go, Fogo, go. Exactly.
So exciting. So exciting. So yeah, thank you for sharing so much of yourself with us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It only takes a call, Holly. I do whatever you say.
Oh, well, yeah. So when you hit the 60s, woo, I think the more and more we get it, we become a little wiser and
Yes.
we really embrace who we are and we don't worry too much about what other people think. And so it's awesome that you could share your story. Because I think even when I was going through what you're going through, I remember asking my mother, and my mother couldn't remember, what it was. And then I was like, well, who do I ask? Who do I ask? And so then I was asking different people, but they weren't my blood relatives.
Hmm.
So it's like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm just thinking just one final note is that maybe you're going to write a book because everything you just said, I just love how you said it. Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
I like to read. So, on that note, on closing, I don't know, are you reading a book currently that you might want to recommend to other people?
I have so many books.
Pick
I,
one.
I do
I'll
like
pick one.
multiple books at a time now. I'm
Are
like,
they
hmm.
reachable? Can you go get it?
Usually they're within, actually, it is within reach.
Okay, I'll
Um,
get yours, and mine is within reach because I was like,
okay,
with
you get yours. I'm gonna grab
you
mine.
getting hers, and
Okay,
while okay,
okay. Oh,
so this
Land
is
of Bones. In
this book.
our bones. What is that?
So speaking of Fogo na Hopa,
Mhm.
the author Layla used to dance with Fogo. And
Eee.
I didn't know that, but we have a mutual friend whose name is Angela Angel. And Angela had a party that Layla happened to be at. And then she was
Uh-huh.
like to me, talking to me. And I didn't know she's such a great writer, but she wrote this book. What's cool about it is it talks about the Levant, plants from the Levant, but also her relationship with the land.
Oh, I love
Oh
that.
my God. And she's an exquisite writer.
Oh,
Beautiful book. I'm going to be teaching this class soon. Yeah,
wonderful.
and I wanted to like, so I kind of pulled out all the books, because a lot of it's around our ancestral relationship with plants. And I was like, okay, the students are from all over the world. So I was like, oh, okay. And this is the book I happen to be reading right now.
Oh
It's a,
my gosh.
yeah,
I,
just
I I totally have to check that out. Oh my good. Earth-based pathways to ancestral stewardship and belonging in the diaspora.
diaspora.
Love
So
it.
yeah, a lot of us that might be in the like my people were in the diaspora, but her
Yeah.
writing is so beautiful. So yeah, this is the book I mean, I have this whole stack of books I'm reading, but this is the one that I love reading the most.
Oh, thank you for sharing. I have to go
Awesome.
check it
What about you?
out.
What are you reading?
So I got this, believe it or not, from my chiropractor. So I usually go and get books from the library because that's where I go. I like to be done, and then it helps me motivate me to hurry up and finish it and move on to the next.
Oh,
Because
that's
if
a
I buy it, it sits on the shelf. So I
oh,
usually get stuff from the library. So I have like a couple sitting around from the library, but um this one I just got recommended by
oh,
my it's oh here, how do you do it? Oh,
that's
from
a
my chiropractor,
what?
and it's called A Book of Delights. Now, this man, Ross Gay, I think came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and he said, there's too many things to like. It's like kind of like gratitude, we like think about gratitude and what are we thankful for, and just stopping and thinking in your life. He calls them delights. I just thought it was so beautiful.
Oh, I
And
love
just his insights or awakenings or just thoughts. And somewhere I just read we have like 60,000 thoughts a day. I'm like, what? Like, but
Oh
that's
my God,
sense,
really?
right? It totally makes sense because you're like thinking about multiple things at once, right? Or you could be talking to somebody and thinking about other things because they spark
In
other
my
ideas,
mind.
right? So it totally makes sense. And so this man wrote this book and became like a New York bestseller. I think he wrote more delights, I think recently, as maybe as early as this year or last year or something like that. So he has another book after this. But this book is just a bunch of like, that's the guy right here. He goes through like, I'm not really doing good with this.
Okay.
So
No, I
you
can
can
see.
see that. He goes through like 365 days in one year, starts on his birthday in
What?
August and goes 365 days of just writing his experiences every day. That's my daughter. And his experiences like every day, and some things are just so like, wow, that's interesting, or just a thought like looking at a flower and having a thought based on that, or a cricket holding his hand, holding his
That's
praying mantis doing something and what he was doing. And like those two more historical things that are like I want to go research, because it's like an historical event. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So just I'm just on like, was it chapter day 16 or something, but it's really, really just fun. Just some fun reading because I'm so used to reading nonfiction, or
oh right.
I hate that term self-help, but the books that we look to find more information, to gain information on how we can apply that to our life. That's how I look at them, those kind of books. If it's about herbs, if it's about a new way of DIY or whatever it is, I like to look up, I guess, a lot more nonfiction, um, or like a new enzyme to take or whatever it is.
Oh,
But this one's just fun, and it's just nice to have a fun book
fun
to,
reading is good.
yes,
The some
yes.
reading. So my favorite is historical fiction.
Ah,
Only because I learned about history, but it's in the context of a story with characters
that's nice. I like that.
going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like you, I read a lot of nonfiction, but I have to like sometimes put it down. Like it's too
That's
much,
too much, right? You're like,
or
break.
it's too academic. It's like okay, yeah, I need that for work, but it's a little academic. Let me put it down for a while.
It's like break, brain break. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, well, thank you for taking time out of your day
Thank you
for me
too,
to check
Holly.
in with you. So we look forward to when you're going to be like back in the world providing Reiki. I'm waiting for my session. I'm waiting for my
Oh,
session.
I know. I need to, yeah, you're right. And it's like until you're better, you can't give until
Ex-
you have that energy that, you know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah,
back
so
to
continue filling your cup. Fill your cup.
exactly. Thank you so much, Holly.
So
Oh,
as a dog from one dog person to the other.
thank you.
Have a beautiful day. I'll
You
talk to you later.
okay? Take
Thank
care.
you.